Hello, good morning once again, viewers at home. My name is Bio-Edutainment Michael. Sincerely, we want to really appreciate viewers at home for being part of us throughout this festive period. This is another time to go educational, and today again we are coming on a very thought to be difficult course, and that is what we call immuno-informatics. The other time that we met, I told you that immuno-informatics is just application of bioinformatics in understanding immunology or understanding the behavior of our immune system. Don't forget that as we started that time, we were able to look into what immune system is all about. Just like you must have heard from where we are able to learn so much about the immune system. Don't forget that we have two types of immune system. We have innate immune system, we have adaptive immune system, and just like you know that innate immune system is such that this is an inborn innate immunity, and that is the quickest to react whenever it comes to antigenic attack. So it is innate, and that is what we are born with. And again, I told us that on innate it is non-specific, and physical barriers is also being involved. Physical barrier like skin, like mucous membrane, macrophages, neutrophils, and some others. Again, when we look at the other arm of the immune system, which has to do with adaptive, just from the word adaptive, it is actually known as the immune system that we acquire as a result of being exposed to it. So it's still part of that, and that is exactly what we have been trying to do. Don't forget that in the introductory part of bioinformatics, I actually explained to us what bioinformatics can do for us, what it has been doing, and what is still lying ahead for us in the future. I told us that bioinformatics is nothing but application of other disciplines to be able to understand biological data. Don't forget that I told us that every day, every seconds, we have different biological data that are being generated from lot of researches, from a lot of experimental results. Lot of these are being generated, and to the level that even for us to be able to utilize this, it has been a very difficult task, so to say. Oh, and that's the reason why bioinformatics is actually coming into the area of rescuing us from understanding, utilizing, and making sure that we make a kind of informed decision as a result of our data. Don't forget that in the introductory part of bioinformatics, I told us that bioinformatics has been able to help us in understanding the immune system. It has been able to explore us into the new techniques and technology of understanding drug design and some others. All very possible that we will focus on this in this course, because this is an advanced lectures series on advanced bioinformatics. So that is telling you us that immediately after we must have understood introductory bioinformatics, and by now you know what is called proteomics. That is an application of bioinformatics into understanding the structure and function of proteins. And don't forget that more than 5 million proteins can be, the function can be predicted as a result of application of bioinformatics into this. And don't forget that the immune system is intricate in the sense that it is a kind of a network that actually has to work in collaboration with each other. And this cannot be if we do not have protein. This cannot be if certainly we do not have macromolecules that will be working collaboratively and one way or the other to be able to put off the immunological challenges that we should be having from diverse microorganisms. Don't forget that each microorganism or each pathogen has a very unique pattern at which microorganism or pathogen are able to conquer their new niches, new ecological niches. So because they believe in the principle, or let me call it the philosophy, that they must survive wherever they find themselves. Microorganism is such that if they act as pathogen, they will be looking for an opportunity to lower the immune system so that they will be able to take over. And don't forget that whatever we take in, any substance, be it food or whatsoever that we take in, if our immune system is not very, very active, that means one way or the other, the pathogens are going to overpower and they are going to take charge. And before you know it, that's going to lead to pathological condition. And that is the reason why that up to today, one of the basic application of bioinformatics is in the area of personalized medicine, and that is personalized medicine. It is also in the area of vaccine production, drug design, and what have you. So we were able to look at one very characteristics that the adaptive immune system is actually endowed with, and that is the ability to remember even after a long insult from pathogen. They have that ability, and that is called immunological memory. Apart from that, we also talk about something that is very, very central in adaptive immunity, and that is nothing but tolerance. And this is just our ability to be able to differentiate between self and non-self. That is what is called tolerance. So if the immune system is unable to tolerate itself, what is going to lead to is going to be self-destruction, and that is a condition that we call autoimmune diseases. That is AID. We have a lot of them to actually know, and that is one of the reasons why scientists and computer literate, computer engineers, statisticians, mathematicians, biochemists, and some other people from other disciplines, what they did was to come together and be able to understand this part of our biological data. And that's the more reason why, and just like I said, tomorrow, that bioinformatics has come to stay. And that will lead us into understanding how computational tools and techniques can perform very well in the area of understanding the immune system. Don't forget what we are treating today is nothing but immuno-informatics. So immuno-informatics has its application in gene and protein synthesis. Apart from that, there is a application of bioinformatics in understanding genomics and transcriptomics data. That is, it is able to actually help us in understanding how some of the vital process like transcription, like translation and replication of DNA and other hereditary material, how they are able to take part in all this. And also we also look at the application of bioinformatics in predictive modeling that has to simulation. So if any if any drug is being designed today or vaccine is being designed today, no matter what, it has to be tailored towards the need of the immune system. And that's the reason why bioinformatics will simulate by making lot of predictive modeling to be able to see how it is going to be in real life. If you design a drug, you need to simulate how the immune system is going to react to it, and that is the science of docking. We are going to see this by the time we get into part of what our job is, and that is on immunoinformatics. And apart from that, immunoinformatics also involve what is called data mining and machine learning approaches. Whenever we talk about data mining is nothing but a process by which we extract useful information from larger data sets and often be able to use it in the recognition. And that is nothing but also what is called immunoinformatics. Then apart from that, we are still going to apply a lot of algorithms such as supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and deep learning, which are going to be employed in predicting the responses that is going to be as a result of immunoinformatics. And you will also come across some words like deep learning, unsupervised learning as we proceed also in this course. Apart from that, in the introductory bioinformatics, used to sequence alignment tools, that is blasting, where you apply basic local alignment sequences tool to be able to understand how distantly some substances are and how relatedly some substances are. So it is also application of immunoinformatics that is also going to help us. Then I have also said that immunoinformatics or bioinformatics, application of bioinformatics is also into protein structure prediction. Then I also mentioned antigen antibody, which is called docking in bioinformatics. We will apply all this by the time we also go on. Then we will be able to make use of immunoinformatics, because immunoinformatics has been able to integrate genetic data and to be able to know how patients' genetic makeup can actually influence the immune system of the host. And this is exactly what is being applied in the area of cancer immunotherapy. That is designing drugs for cancer. So immunoinformatics has been able to do that, and the process by which this is called genetic stratification. So also it has also helped us in predicting therapeutic successes. So just like I said, we have benefited a lot as a result of product of immunoinformatics by coming up with drugs that can target and boost and help us to be able to boost our immune system, such as monoclonal antibodies, cancer vaccine, and some immune modulators. So all this is part of why we actually need bioinformatics in the understanding, utilization, and analysis of our biological data. Then we have also come to the level whereby clinical application and certain challenges. We have seen application of bioinformatics in understanding medicine and their clinical applications, but they also have what is actually called challenges. Part of the challenges of immunoinformatics include integration of data. So how can we be able to, when you go to the gene bank, you are going to see a lot of data. You have those one that has to do with understanding protein, that is proteomics, and that one that has to do with genomics, transcriptomics, and other clinical data. How can we integrate our data from the from computer, that is the one we have been able to do on computer? Even if we have success on computer, that does not necessarily mean that we are going to have success when it comes to the real application and understanding of all this. And that's one of the major challenges of bioinformatics to do with how can we integrate, able to make an informed consent or informed decision on this. So data integration has been a very major problem in application or the challenges that is facing clinical application of bioinformatics. Then apart from that, the second very important challenges that we have is nothing but heterogeneity. What do we call heterogeneity? Don't forget that tumor, that is cancer, and immune responses, they are heterogeneous because it depends on whatever is going to be the biomarkers and the prediction of what is going to be what we call patient outcome. This one is very, very important because sometimes the fact that we have success in silico, that is in designing an effective therapy, designing what should be and what would be vaccine to treat our ailments, we could be successful on computer. But when we get to the real sense, that is understanding the real immunological response, a different ball game it is going to be entirely. And that is what is another challenges that is facing application of bioinformatics or clinical application of bioinformatics, which is actually known as immuno-informatics. So this is very, very important. Then another thing is we also have the issue of ethical consideration. There are some people that even up to today, they do not believe in the science of bioinformatics because ethical consideration, the use of personalized medicine or personalized data has raises a lot of privacy and ethical concern, because how can we actually make sure that our data do not get into wrong hands? If you have a whole information about an organism now or about human, how are we going to make sure that application of this will not going to get into the wrong hand, and that is going to be part of ethical consideration? That is, how can we maintain privacy with deposit data in the gene bank after a lot of experiments? So gene bank and whatever data that is already deposited in the gene bank has actually been for public consumption. So one of the major challenges is how can we maintain confidentiality or privacy? That is one of the issue that is being raised against immuno-informatics. However, despite all this, I have also said it that bioinformatics, immuno-informatics, and the world of omics entirely is nothing, but it has come to revolutionize our medicine. It has come to give us deeper understanding of how our immune system functions and how can we optimize the functionality of this to be able to use it for treatment of an individual, which is going to be entirely based on their genetic and their immunological profile. So that is what we have actually come to do. Now again, immuno-informatics, just like what we want to do today, but how immuno-informatics can be used in immune response to understand immune related diseases. So once again, don't forget that we are still in the business of understanding informatics, immuno-informatics, and just from the word immuno-informatics, you will be able to know what exactly we are actually talking about. That is the use of bioinformatics tools, bioinformatics techniques, and a lot to be able to understand how our immune system actually work. And one of the major application, and which is going to be part of what we are going to treat today, number one, we are going to see application of immuno-informatics or bioinformatics in biomarker discovery for immune related diseases. So that is, how can we make informed consents? Don't forget that each cell of an organism, of human, has gotten what is called biomarkers. They have their own red flags. So on the surfaces of, don't forget that an organism, understanding the genome of an organism, that is the genetic, the sum total of the genes in in an organism. So having, that means in human, for example, human being, we have more than billion, we have billions of cells that together they are going to make a kind of the genome. Don't forget, we have, from our elementary biology, we know that aggregation of cells will give us tissue, then aggregation of tissues will give us organs, aggregation of organs will give us system, and collection of system will now give us a whole organisms. So what we are saying in essence is, when you now know different cells we make up, in totality we make up for a whole organisms, and each of these cells, they have their own biomarkers, that is red flags, that each cell will be displayed on their surface, and that is this biomarker could be what they will use. These biomarkers will be what they will use to be able to, it could be used for treatment, it could be used for drug design, it could be used to diagnose them for diagnosis, so on and so forth like that. And that is what we now want to make use of by the time we now apply bioinformatics to be able to understand all this. So don't forget that if you are talking of immune system, by now we know we have innate and we have adaptive. When we have innate and adaptive, all this, we have millions. There are cells that many cells are involved that will make sure that at least the pathogen or the antigen is not spared. So they work hand in hand together. So we want to make use of, how can we use bioinformatics in understanding all the cells of the immune system, because that is exactly what that one has to do. So biomarkers are nothing but they are measurable. It's something you can measure. They are measurable indicators of disease conditions. They are measurable indicators of disease condition. So there are some biomarkers that you can actually use to predict what is going to be, how to diagnose these immune-related diseases. But when we are talking of immune-related diseases, you should know that is a case whereby the cell is not able to tolerate self. So, and the immune system is fighting against itself. That is what is called immune-related diseases, or AID, autoimmune diseases. It's still the same thing. So, so the first one is that tumor biomarker. Okay, just like I told you, in cancer, especially in cancer, immuno-informatics has actually helped us to identify some antigens that are called neoantigens. What are neoantigens? These are antigens that can be used as biomarkers. It is the use of informatics, bioinformatics, that we are able to make use of recognizing or diagnosing what neoantigens are. And I told you that neoantigens, they are nothing but cancer biomarkers that we can use to track. We can use in tracking cancer cells. Okay, help us to identify tumor specific antigen, which are called biomarkers. Okay, not only so, just like I said, why do we need to track them? I told you, for diagnosis, for treatments, and one very important thing that bioinformatics has actually helped us to do is that we now have what is called predictive and personalized medicine. Predictive. Now it is very possible for you to be able to predict when you are going to have onset of cancer, when you can have onset of cancer, when you can have onset of some certain diseases, when you can have them to be correctly diagnosed. So one thing that is going to help us to do. Then also, it has actually helped us to be able to understand currently, you know what I'm working on. Currently I'm working on how to design. I'm working on vaccine design for vaccine design for drug resistant biomarkers, drug resistant TB, by the use of these biomarkers, so that we now use the biomarkers to be able to design appropriate vaccine in order to be able to fight or be able to treat drug resistant TB. You know, drug resistant TB is one of, let me say, is problematic up to today. So that one is that. So then number two in biomarkers discovery, apart from biomarkers discovery, that is the application of immuno-informatics. Okay, is that just like I said, it has helped us to be able to profile because of biomarkers, or because of application of bioinformatics now. So I told you that this has actually helped us to be able to predict and profile. So with the use of immunoinformatics will help us to be able to profile the immune response, profiling of immune response, profiling the immune response is actually called patient stratification. Patient